This is going to be about a series of events that occurred starting back in 2002, with the second one shortly thereafter, and then another event which occurred 20 years later that were all related and connected. The first event started off as a dream. I went to bed, had this dream, and picture like in Africa, the Ethiopian little boys where they got the bloated belly because of their hunger. And it was like a belly that was full of air, and this boy was blowing a horn. And then as the horn was blowing, as that began to commence, there was this loud, commanding, thunderous voice that came out and says, "To prepare my family because I'm coming soon." Well, as a believer like I am, I naturally began to think that that meant that maybe it was a sign the rapture was coming soon, or just time to make sure I get my family ready. So a few days passed, and as nighttime I would typically read the Bible to my wife. And one night I was doing that, and I was sitting there, I was reading the Bible, and all of a sudden I had this feeling and this presence that this person or somebody was in that room with us. I look up and stand in the doorway, and here's a picture, the best representation of what the face looked like I can come up with, was what I would say was an angel, because the way that the was standing there, it was wearing white, and it was just, but unlike the spirit type beings that you typically would see depicted in a lot of images, this was more of a physical type being. And as I think about it from a physical being, you think about the passages in the Bible. Here are those passages where they actually talk about, you might be able to entertain an angel unaware. So clearly that if you're entertaining an angel unaware, it doesn't look like a spirit being at that point. It has a much more physical presence. So the experience that I had, I reached over to my wife. I said, "Hey, look, there's something that's standing in our doorway." Her response to me was, "Don't tell me anything like that." Now, anytime I've ever told this story, the crazy thing is I always qualify it by the fact that, hey, I was wide awake, but people ask me the question, "Were you dreaming?" No, I was not dreaming during this event. I was very much awake. I got a very good look at the individual. Now, compared to the picture that I showed just a minute ago, and I'll put back on the screen now, the difference would be the beard was more of a full beard, but the image of the person is very, very similar to what you see here. It was, like I said, dressed in white and standing there, and I sat up in my bed and I just looked at this person for a few seconds, for a period of time. And as I tried to get my wife's attention, I just kind of like shook my head in disbelief, kind of covered my eyes for a moment, and as soon as I put my hand back down, it was gone. But definitely was there, very clear. Now, fast forward 20 years. Sounds crazy that it'd be 20 years later, but I am out of town, walking with a coworker. And this was before I started my weight loss and health and fitness journey. And I almost take this like it was almost like a warning for me to say, hey, it's time to make a change in my life, because if you had followed my health and fitness journey and my weight loss journey, you would know that I was having some blood pressure issues that were shooting numbers up pretty high. But we're walking down the sidewalk, and this same face, this same person is walking, and I see this person like looking at me, and as it gets close to me, the person turns its head and leans over to look at me, like really, really close. I paused in my walk. I wanted to stop and go back and try to say something, but I did not. I walked on. But after that, I just felt the urge and the need to begin to make some changes in my life. But I know it's a strange story, strange occurrence, but very much something that has happened in my life. Like I said, starting with the dream that I originally misinterpreted as something that might be like a rapture warning or just a dream about the rapture, to later the angelic type being that was showing up in my room. Now, the question is, why might this have shown up in my room? Well, at that point in time in my life, I had one of my brothers was like, "Hey, I wish I could see something like that so I could believe like you do." So I began to just pray that I could have an angel where I could see the angel so that I could relay that story to my brother. So maybe if he didn't see it, knowing that I had might just help with his faith. And I did this for a period of time, and then then this occurrence did take place. So I don't know why it would have occurred to me other than this, but nothing other significant was communicated to me other than the actual presence. But have you ever experienced or seen or thought to have seen an angel or some heavenly type being in your presence? I'd love to know that story. If you have, please comment below. Thank you.